Hello, I'm Jonathan David Dixon. So often when Shakespeare scholars talk about what we know about William Shakespeare, or Shakespeare enthusiasts talk about what we love about William Shakespeare, they're not really talking about things that are based in the documentary evidence. Because so often what they're really doing is sort of leaping past all the historical documents related to the man from Stratford, and they're going straight into this sort of fairy tale mythology that's grown up around Shakespeare over the centuries. And then they're talking about that as if that were the history. Well, let me give you a demonstration. Here is the life story of William Shakespeare as we're usually taught it. A restless young man of humble origins decides to leave his dull, stifling little village to seek his fortune in the wider world. He travels to the big city where, armed only with his own resourcefulness, his sheer pluck and wit, he quickly outstrips all the envious higher-class bigwigs. He becomes famous, a great favorite of the king and queen, is rewarded handsomely, and in the end returns in triumph to his little hometown, now a wealthy and famous hero who has changed the world. So what you've just heard there was either the life story of William Shakespeare or Frodo Baggins, or the brave little tailor, because the traditional story of Shakespeare as we're told it completely follows the archetypal pattern of the hero's journey that's found in mythologies and in folk tales all over the world. So it's no wonder we find the traditional story of Shakespeare so inspiring and profound and inspirational, because we're pretty much hardwired to. And no wonder we have such a hard time letting go of him. And I say we because, well, I include myself in that. I love the traditional story of Shakespeare. I really wish it was true. When I've gone to Stratford and seen the birth house and Anne Hathaway's cottage, even though there's really not much evidence that's what they really are, and been immersed in that magical mythology, I get that same sort of googly, tingly feeling that everyone else does. But it's the same sort of googly, tingly feeling that I get on Baker Street, even though I know that Sherlock Holmes never really lived there, or never actually existed. I love mythology, and I love folk tales, and I love fairy tales. I think they're wonderful, but they're not history, and they shouldn't be mistaken for history. And worse, they shouldn't be presented as history.